Hello there, Vic Benedict here. We're playing Uncharted 2 Remastered on Brutal difficulty. This is my guide and walkthrough. We're currently on chapter 23 of 26. It is entitled Reunion. So, a bit of a strange word when you think about it, because our reunion, at least with death, speaking in a general way, usually wasn't very spaced far from our last death. In fact, our last death was usually just a couple seconds ago. In rare cases, just a couple minutes ago. But usually, personally, I just died the other second ago. It's hard to it's hard to remember all the deaths. At the end of the trilogy, I'll show you how many times I died. It's not going to be completely accurate, because oftentimes I have no patience to sit through the admittedly very brief death, the death cry of the pirate. But anyway, so we're starting off with the grenade launcher in this chapter. The grenade launcher and I don't really have I don't have much of a good bond with the grenade launcher, to tell you the truth. I can't seem to get many kills with it, so taking it into this chapter was definitely a placebo. So if you don't have the grenade launcher when you start this chapter, if, for instance, you start this chapter outright from the chapter select screen, you really don't have much to worry about, because the grenade launcher isn't all that it's considered to be. As far as like a special great weapon, it really isn't. Now, the most challenging aspect of this room, aside from the fact that you've got to stay alive throughout all of it, and in this video's case, it spans about 12 minutes. You've got to stay alive the complete time. Now, I believe at this moment in time, we've killed the first wave. Just remember, there are not any checkpoints until the cutscene, which takes place a long time from now. So what you now want to do is go around the room and scavenge for what you want. Wave 2 begins when you go up the stairs slightly. The good thing about this, as compared to Chapter 6 in Uncharted 1, if you recall, you barely had a chance to get to safety, is that they do kind of come out slowly, and you, as you can see right there, you don't even have to go up the stairs. You just have to approach the stairs. So you want to very hastily get back into cover, and you want to stay on this side of the room. Holy shit, did you see that? I barely survived. Reunion with Death is what I think this chapter should have been called. But now Elena's up there for some reason. I expect that she'll come down, perhaps, but on Wave 2, which this is Wave 2, staying on this side of the room is preferable, and you may be able to guess the reason. It's because the other side of the room has very scant cover, and it's probably not possible to survive on that side of the room. So the enemies above us cannot hit us through the floorboards. We can do the opposite to them, and when I did my guide the last time, I did that, and I do believe that I might engage with it and humor it for a moment, but it takes a little bit too long, and I think I can get the same, if not better, result from just killing all the guys to the right, and then perhaps taking some shelter on, behind any of the pieces of cover that I can. Now, the most challenging aspect of this room, aside from the fact that death is so easy to come by in this game, in this whole trilogy, is that there's so many hiding spots for the enemies that it's very difficult to tell exactly. And you'll get better at remembering where everybody is from the way that they spawn. It's just the fact that it's very hard to tell where the enemies are. And if you can't tell where they are, then you can't properly position yourself in a logical place that you think you're safe. Like, for instance, now, I'm not really sure who is where. Like, the guy firing there, it could be Elena for all I know. I suspect it's the enemy, and it ended up being the enemy. But, yeah, see, it's the enemy. There's also a shotgun guy that drops down to the left. You've got to, be careful of him, too. Now, the absolute key to being able to tell where enemies are, at any given time, take your cue from Elena. Look in whatever direction she's looking and firing at, because she's the AI. She's firing at enemies. She knows exactly where the enemies are. So any time you don't know where the enemies are, just check out where Elena's looking and firing at. That'll give you the instant knowledge of where they're at. So it's a difficult room, admittedly. It's hard to survive on this room. But take comfort in knowing that the spawns are always the same. Enemies are not going to go in the same spots every single time, but safety is pretty much not guaranteed, but you're very safe on this side of the room. Trust me, you're very safe. And it's basically the first wave that's the densest. We should have that shotgunner. See, she's aiming. See, she's aiming right over there. So that instantly tells me they're up there. Here's the shotgunner. I'm glad he didn't land anywhere near me. I mean, he kind of did, but just remember, Elena knows where they are. Okay. And then when she stops firing, then you know that the wave is over. And I don't think wave 2 is quite over yet. Let's go ahead and check out what I think. I do believe that the wave is coming to a close. We may just have one more guy. See, Elena's firing up there. That instantly tells me that the enemy's location is right over there. So this probably is the last guy. Now it's interesting. It's a 4-wave encounter. Wave 1 has a ton of enemies. Wave 2 has a medium, it's like small/medium amount. Wave 3 is one guy. Wave 4 is one guy. And isn't that strange? Like, and you get no checkpoint anywhere. And the third wave is fair if you know where the guy's coming. The fourth wave is actually ridiculous. And I know it's strange to... oh, there's a heavy over here. He's probably the last guy in this wave. But, and I mentioned this last time, it was absolutely ridiculous, but they completely surprise attack you. Do you remember on the Siege chapter, where after we had completed a huge fight, there was one son of a bitch hiding in a house that when I ran past him, he threw a grenade at me? Well, it's the same kind of trickery, but in this game, instead of giving you a checkpoint like they do in the Siege chapter, there's no checkpoint. So it's really dangerous, but anyway. Now, now this is the last guy. He's up there. Now, wave 3, the one guy. Now he's on the parallel doorway. See how we're aiming here? The third wave, which is just one enemy, he's going to be on the other door. So now we can just safely, and I mean safely. You're in no threat as long as you don't start going up the stairs. So if you want to take the RPG up here to take care of this guy, go for it. Just remember that I've already done my looting. I edited it out. Go up the stairs and do not worry. Just come right exactly to where I'm at now and get behind cover. See, this guy comes out. This is wave 3, just this guy. You can throw a grenade at him. I decided to cancel it. Remember, canceling the grenade is L1 while you're holding it, and then press triangle. But you're going to notice that I'm extremely careful here and very hesitant to stick my neck out because I think this guy has an M4. If not, he has something, it doesn't matter what they have. They're all dangerous, but, if you're if you're at all sloppy here or unlucky, and he puts you down, well, you're returning to the beginning of the fight, and the same holds true for the last guy. Okay, so I believe he's dead now. Okay, yeah, Elena's giving us the cue that she's dead. Okay, now there's one guy. Now, this time, instead of the enemy coming to me, winding his goddamned fucking horn, I am going to be picking up my RPG, and this last son of a bitch is going to get this shoved so far fucking up his ass it's going to come out of his mouth. So, I'm going to swap my shoulders so it doesn't get retained. And then, see this? You want to fire a little bit in advance. I'll show you that again. Approach, fire a little bit of it in advance so that you get some splash, and you're going to put him down. If he kills you, you've got to do the whole fight again. But there he is. A little bit dangerous, but I do believe, as I do my jump for joy, that he deserved that, and nothing less. Because, is that fair? Not at all. To put that guy right there at the very end. You know, you can run right into him and he'll put you down like a damn dog. It's such bullshit. Yeah, you know, and it's really a shame because, I don't know about you, but I'm not a fucking animal. So, now we're going to progress through the level. We're going to do some more confrontations. This is a level that's comparable in size, actually, to the previous chapter that we did. So, I'm going to jump my way on over here, and there are 2 enemies that you can do. I really like the elementary / basic stealth in this game. Although, if you do alert these guys, I believe that well, I know for certain that the game throws at least one more enemy at you. It could be more than that. I just know that I messed up once on a very simple section. Although I was just testing things. Just testing the waters, so to speak. But I really don't care much for stealth, honestly. So I really like the just the basic, you know, couple of enemies in a real easy. I just like the easy basic stealth sections. I'm not a stealth gamer. I just don't like it. I'm not. I don't know. I guess my brain is just not that type of a brain. You know, we all like what we like, so I guess that's the fundamental principle that, you know, couldn't be more obvious. So, and again, another completely simple stealth section. Now, these enemies are going to be firing at those monsters, and then all of a sudden they're going to be searching for seemingly nothing. What ends up happening over here for some reason is that when you die, they change their whole course of action. So I'm not sure, but you've gotta love that. I just love doing that. So this is one of those situations where it's just 4 guys. They've all pretty much got their backs turned, and it's just I don't know what it was about Uncharted 4 that. You see the guy to the right? He thinks he heard something, but he didn't. Now, you've got your choice about what you want to take into the next fight. I mean, there's always a choice, but you're going to need a power weapon. However, it's up to you what you want to choose. You can take the hammer, the grenade launcher, that is, or you can take a rocket launcher. I looked all around over here, and the only rocket launcher that I could find was that one right there, the RPG-7. So I ended up deciding to take the hammer rather than the rocket launcher because of the fact that I knew there was the amount of RPGs was going to be plentiful coming up over here, and I thought that mayhap I could do a little bit of weapon switching, but it turns out to be just completely unnecessary because you get more than enough. I respect this difficulty, guys, because a lot of folkin, they will say that they really don't care for dying so quickly, but the checkpoints are the same, and even though the ammunition is sparse, if you don't do it right, you've got that weapon switching trick, so you're all good. And I like that. I really do. So anyway, this is the course of action that I take. I usually don't push him off because I don't want the rocket launcher to go with him. But in this region, we are, I believe for the first time, going to be doing combat with ultra heavies. And you might think to yourself, well, you know, god damn it. This is a rocket launcher. It's an RPG. Why do I have to shoot them 3 times with a rocket launcher? You know, why doesn't it just take one shot? You know, this is a devastatingly powerful weapon. Well, I understand that. You don't have to hit them in the head either. But think of it this way, guys. They're not heavies. They're ultra heavies. So quickly come on in here. Swap your shoulders. And take out this sniper over here. Very quickly, guys. Because there's going to be soldiers spawning below him. And at the end of the fight, there's going to be a sniper above us, but he's not going to be able to hit us because his vantage point is not anything that's conducive to hitting us. Now, at this point, they give you more RPGs down over here, and I'm not kidding about getting iframes with this with the SWAT turn, guys. The iframes also make you invisible to enemies. Like if you are doing stealth and you do the SWAT turn in front of an enemy, they won't see you. Now, how many iframes do you get? Like I said, I don't know how many iframes you get. All I know is that you get them. But now what we're going to do is just take out the last sniper that I mentioned, do the corner transition like the game taught you at the beginning of the game. A little bit too high for that guy, so the second time was the charm for me personally. I'm going to switch out my... Oh, there we go. Jump for joy. You've got to love that leitmotif, guys. The jump for joy. Nobody else on... Does anybody else on YouTube do that, guys? No, they don't. Because nobody else on YouTube is Buck fucking Benedict. So anyway, now that that section's taken care of, what we're going to do is... oh, I was going to mention that I switched my hammer to the... You already know what I'm going to say. I switched it back to the M4. There's a couple of rocket launchers down there if you want to get those for yourself in. And now we're going to... what does this guy have? A Desert 5, if you want that. I just don't care for the... Now you might say, well, you don't get as much ammunition, but it's basically a Magnum. It kills people in one shot for the most part. Well, yeah, but I personally feel more comfortable if I'm using a weapon that has more ammunition, you know. I know the trade-off. More ammunition, weaker weapon. However, maybe I can get a critical hit. It's not as I don't know what they did to the critical hits in this game, but in Uncharted 1, you could really nail those critical hits and instantly kill people with headshots. And in this game, the headshots just don't seem to do much at all, and it's really disappointing. Very disappointing. You know why? Because it makes you feel less powerful. Oh, there's another thing too. The PS4 controller, when you play it, its default color is yellow when you play this game, and when you die, the light bar turns red real quick. So it tells you. Do you know how many times the light bar's lit up red when I've been playing this game? It's incredible. I love nice little touches like that though. But man, again, how can you not love this game? All right, so now we're going to do a pretty basic puzzle. We're going to head on into this room, and starting with the circle, this is going to be the white one, and this is going to be moved over to the second painting in the room of the serpent slash dragon. So drop that right into that slot. Head on back over here to pick up the square. This is going to be associated with the color yellow, and that needs to be dropped on the fourth painting in the wall, which is the lion. I'm numbering these going from left to right around the room. So if you immediately enter the room, the one to the left of the door is 1, the one to the right of the door is 4. Now the triangle or the pyramid shape, that one is the color associated with red, and that's going to be going over here to the bird, which it looks like kind of a harpy to me, but whatever. whatever you deem it to look like, I'll accept. And then the last one we're going to be looking at is the, if we can find it, it's the half circle. Where are you? Right over there. And it obviously goes in the last slot, but I'll tell you what color it is. This is the green color, and it goes right over here to the tiger, to the number 1 slot. And then once you've dropped that one into the slot, you will have access to these sliding wheels. And it's very difficult to describe them, but this is the one that looks like it's got like a blade to the left, looks like the letter A. So next, head on over to the number 2 picture. This is the serpent one, and it's going to be the one with the diamond on top, but still looks like an A. And then the third picture, the harpy, we will move it. Sometimes it doesn't let you keep moving it, and he stops moving it, and I have to keep coming back to it. But it's the one that looks like that. Is it? Nope. It's the one that kind of has the, I don't know, it looks like a T at the upper left. And then the number 4 slot, this is the one that has the sickle shape on the very left side of it. And then that's the puzzle. Once you have that to be raised there, you're going to interact with it, and then we're going to stick the key into the slot over there. We got a really good fight coming up. This is kind of a low point. I don't like any of the puzzles in these games. I would just as soon have the option to skip them if I could, like Lords of Shadow brilliantly did. But once we scale this, we're going to talk to Elena real quick. And this fight, I really like this fight, actually. It's a 2-segment fight. And I cannot stress enough how much I really do appreciate Bluepoint for keeping the checkpoints as they were from crushing difficulty. You know, like I said, I don't mind getting damaged in 2 shots, but don't screw around with the checkpoints. You know, that's going a little bit too far, especially on brutal difficulty. Okay, now we've got pretty much a what I would say is the final fight of the chapter. There is another fight that's coming up afterwards, but it's a small fight compared to this one. This is the one of the large fights of the chapter. Now, admittedly, the first fight of the chapter was an all-out war. But you know how I've been saying often in this walkthrough that I've really been enjoying the game, and that, you know, I'm having the time of my life, so to speak, and things like that. I really am, but sometimes on sections like this where the stealth is so delicate and sensitive, it kind of kills the fun. So what I would do after taking care of that first enemy is I would grab the crossbow, take care of the soldier to the left, and then come up here, gank this guy off. You may have noticed that he dropped an RPG 7. Now, if you are in cover and you roll out of cover, enemies can hear that. So and also when you roll up to cover, they can also hear that too. Now, I was very aggressive in taking that first guy out because I noticed that those 2 heavies ahead both had their backs turned. But normally, the time that you have to take care of him, now watch this heavy move. Right about then is when you need to, not as he's turning back, but like a second after he's turned back. Now, the enemy that we just killed was the turret guy. You need to take care of him. It's on a hierarchy going down. The next guy that we're going to take care of is, you may be able to see him in the distance. He's in front of the heavy is staring at this next guy that we're going to take care of, but he can't see anything. There's also a guy up and to the right, out of sight, in gray, that we're going to be taking care of. Now, that's pretty much the totality of what you can get away with as far as stealth. You can kill the gray guy, but like that's the limit of the stealth. So just tread carefully when you're over here. I mean, don't even roll out of cover. Don't fall from too great of a height. Go down the ladder very delicately. Otherwise, I'm telling you, enemies will hear you. It's ridiculous. But I just, this kind of kills the fun for me when enemies are so sensitive to everything, and you've got to tread just ultra delicately. And it just it feels like it's almost broken, the stealth, But anyway, see how slowly I'm going down the ladder? It's because I know that if I fall, they're gonna hear me. So what we're gonna do now is we're going to kill about 3 enemies at the same time. We're gonna kill that gray guy that I mentioned that you couldn't see, and then we're gonna use the splash from the RPG to dispatch these 2 heavies. I'm sorry if I use the verb dispatch sometimes. I know it's kind of a silly word, but I'm going to throw a nade over there and then use the splash and kill those 2 guys, and then I'm going to get the hell out of the way, come back over here. Did you see the barricades that we just jumped over? Enemies will not come over here. They simply won't. So what you have to be aware of is that enemies are going to be up where this guy is at, and they're going to use their high perches to rain down fire on you. Oftentimes they're going to do it, and you're not even going to realize what's happened. So what you need to do is, first of all, look to see where Elena's firing. Elena, just check out to where she's firing. Kill out anybody in the distance with the M4. There's a plethora of M4s over here. But the main challenge at this point is to kill the guys on the upper area once the lower enemies, the lower placed enemies, I should say, have been killed, so that you can move up a little bit. Just keep cover to your right, pretty much, is what I would say. And again, just take your cue from Elena. The nice thing about this fight is that they checkpointed halfway through the fight, and the second wave is quite easy. So see, there's a grenade launcher in the distance too. Now, at the beginning of the next chapter, they're going to take away your weapons. So it's not going to matter what you take into chapter 24, this being chapter 23. It is going to matter what you bring into the final segment of this chapter, because there is a guy with a shield. See, Elena's firing up there, so that gives me a notion of where this guy's placed. I'm going to use a grenade to take care of him, and I believe he's one of the last couple of guys. There we go. So somebody is firing at me. Okay, we've got to be quite careful. I believe we've taken everybody out who had the height advantage. Oh, there's an RPG. We haven't used it, really. But yeah, at the beginning of this fight, definitely try to use the crossbow to take out some guys. We took out quite a lot of guys. There is like I said, there's a grenade launcher that you can start off the next wave with. But just remember that after you complete the second half of this fight, you want to reset the checkpoint and respawn all the ammunition that's over here. Do all of your weapon switching, and to my knowledge, there's 1 grenade in this area. I'll tell you the general area of where it's at. It's up by that guy, actually, if I remember. So I'm hoping that this is the last guy for our sakes. And damn, we're almost done with this game. The next chapter is a very short chapter, and it doesn't involve much combat, save for some Departed. Now that blood splatter right there shouldn't mean that this guy's dead. I'm hoping. Oh, we've got another guy with a laser sight. Yes, if you're not going to be able to see the challenge on this part is that you're not going to be able to tell where enemies are at. So you have to look at where Elena is firing. That's going to help you out a great deal. It just simply is. She's going to be your second pair of eyes over here. See, I mean, she's firing very precisely, and she's informing me with her aiming. Like the guy's right there. So, I mean, I can't stress how helpful that is. You know. Okay, let's come on up here, and you can't go any higher than where we're at now, too. So bear that in mind. It would be nice if you could go up there somehow, but you can't. Can't do it. See, I'm trying to actually just jump a little bit. Oh, there he is. So it's going to be hard to hit him with a grenade. I think I try to aim, but decide against it. I can't believe in my last walkthrough, I didn't know how to cancel out the grenade. You know, these Project Reduxes, they're such a great opportunity for me to be able to come back and do this, because like, why didn't I put in as much effort as I wanted to? You know, we all have our druthers that we'd like to do, and you know, sometimes I just look at the quality of the stuff that I've made, and I'm really disappointed at what I've done. So I'm hoping this is going to hit him, and I believe it does. And this is where we're going to get our checkpoint for ourselves. Now, I'm going to... Okay, so rest assured you get a checkpoint over here. I'm going to try to do my best with the grenade launcher. Again, my rapport with this weapon is not very good. So, yes, you're seeing me kill people with it. But the only reason you're seeing that is because it was the take that I won. All the other times I was horrible with this weapon, because it's not that it's not powerful. It's just that it's, like I said, me and it don't really have that good of a bond. So it's as much my bad as anything else. So this part's not that hard at all. And you've got the luxury of being sloppy since you have a checkpoint. And oh yeah, I reinstated the light. Look at this! Come on, motherfucker, jump! Goddamn pirates! Can't a pirate jump? I'm gonna do my leitmotif, and it's gonna be hilarious. Actually, I think this is the guy. I'm always thinking to myself, this is the last guy. I'm gonna rush him. I'm gonna rush him. You know, I'm gonna abandon caution. You know, it's so fun to do this. Here we go. Watch this, guys. Watch this. He dropped a grenade too. There's also a grenade up and to the left somewhere. Do I end up doing my dance for joy, or my jump for joy? I guess not. I guess I didn't. But I can tell you that once, remember, reset the checkpoint and get that grenade. Okay, so what if you do come into the next fight and you haven't a grenade? What are you gonna do? Well, I would recommend taking care of all of the other enemies that aren't the ones with the riot shield, and then he can be dealt with. If you shoot him enough, he'll fall over and you just hit his legs. Beyond that, you can just stealth kill him. And speaking of getting killed, I did die over here coming down this ladder, so I tried to put in as seamless of an edit as I could, but they put you down over here. Actually, goddamn, that was a great edit. So there's going to be a couple guys coming down with and accompanying the riot shield guy. So he could definitely be dealt with without a grenade, but since we have one, why not use them? And you cannot just go up to the riot shield guys and start punching them. It's not going to net you anything. But I want you guys to watch what I do, because first of all, I don't know if you get a checkpoint, and second of all, you might doubt what difficulty I'm playing on, because I get away with like my leitmotif of taking out a last guy ended up being me taking out like 3 last guys. It was I never expected to pull all of this off that I end up pulling off. It was absolutely crazy. So we've got enemies rappelling down the ropes over here. I'm throwing grenades because I know they're going to take all of my weapons from me. And since your weapon is switch every 30 seconds, it doesn't matter anyway. Look at this. Look what I end up getting away with. Like, I pull the heavy off. There you go. See you later, bastard. And then I thought to myself, I'm just going to get killed, so it doesn't matter anyway. But, there we go. Parry. A third-person shooter that you can parry in. You've got to love this game, man. And, you know, I'm switching my weapon every 30 seconds, but I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. All that matters here is that you guys are here and that you're being served and that that you're enjoying the guide. You know, as the guide, god damn, there's a lot of strewn bodies over here. As you're enjoying the guide, I want this to be a helpful thing for you, you know, and you know, I just, and if it's not, let me know how I can improve. But you know, for now, I'm just an usher here, guys. I'm standing here. I'm here to serve you, and I want to advance you to the end, and I want you to be best served. Take care.
All right, go.